Anyways, all right, welcome back to the.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back. The glare. It's glare. I had to take them off. This fucking face ain't getting no viewers. So,
Well, I was about to say that your skin tone and your background are the same color.
no, I'm red.
Yeah, I was about to say
Then that. That sucks because that's like smoky, dingy yellow. Like,
is it?
I'm the same as a sickly wall
I was
that's
gonna
been
say
smoked in.
eggshell.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's off white,
You
whatever.
know.
All right, ready?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about the color of my wall more?
No.
Okay. Welcome back to the Baytown Babysitters Club. In this episode, it was it was my choice again.
Yes.
I think this makes 3, so I can't
No.
choose again. No, okay.
2.
Well, we'll find out. Um, in this episode, I was really craving giallos, so I had watched Suspiria and Inferno a bunch, and I was like, okay, what Argentos have I not seen? And I saw Phenomena, and I was like, okay, this is the thing. Like, it's got Loomis, it's got Jennifer Connelly in it, so it felt a little familiar. So we picked that, and that's what we're going to be reviewing. But quickly, I just want to say, I don't know when this video will come out. We have a video coming out in the future where we're picking our top 5 unskippable albums. These are 5 albums that you would take to a desert island because you don't skip tracks on them. So look forward to that video because it is by far the hardest thing I've had to contemplate on this channel. Anyways, back to the review.
Yes.
Jerry, 1985, Dario Argento makes a movie called Phenomena.
Yeah, it does.
Well,
all right, let's start it off. Okay. Tell me something good.
Okay. I think that the concept was silly, but it was original. It was good for that reason.
Yeah.
Again, the music is just outrageous and fun. So there are a lot of positives to this movie. I don't want people to get me wrong and say that this movie is not good. It's just not his best work. That's all. I thank you for watching.
Yeah. Well, I would go cinematography is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
You mentioned the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I will say yes, there are
It's
certain
wild.
points that are like soundtrack worthy, but then there are moments in the movie where I guess for the English release of the movie, they decided to put like just heavy metal over like the worst possible moments in the movie.
Yeah.
Like I geeked out so hard when they're dragging the body of Dr. Loomis out of the house and Motorhead is playing. Which I was like, I don't give a shit what anybody says. This is metal as fuck right now. Just like I want more directors just to be like, we need to just put Motorhead right here. Like, why? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I know, but it's fucking Motorhead. So shut the fuck up, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let's throw
And
Iron
it's
Maiden.
the mid 80s, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's put Iron Maiden in a dream sequence.
Yeah.
And the most like moment that you really want to have like still sound. You don't want any like, or just like a woo, you know, kind of noise, maybe wind blowing.
Yeah.
Keep talking about the fucking wind. And they're like,
it comes
no,
up a lot in the movie. Yes.
Yeah, just turn the stereo on and have Iron Maiden play. It's fucking hilarious. All right.
So the big thing with me was when she comes out in one of her like sleepwalks, right? She comes out of her dorm room.
The one sleepwalk.
Oh, it was the only one? I thought there was more than one.
Okay.
Okay, well, anyways, when she comes out of the dorm and she's wearing the white gown or whatever, and she's walking in that fucking weird like punk jazz
Yeah.
techno synth,
Yeah,
like
the goblins.
I
Yeah.
was I was dying laughing.
Yeah.
I was like, what in the hell is happening? This does not fit the mood whatsoever. Like all the metal that they inserted, all the like 80s metal that they inserted
Yeah.
makes more sense than that song in that moment to me.
Yeah.
To me.
You know, or like at the beginning. Like you notice this movie also starts fucking hot. Like there's no like the movie just starts and like we're with this girl and like in the middle of nowhere. She misses
Mm-hmm,
the bus and
mm-hmm,
like
mm-hmm,
I geeked out because the bus goes down the road. She's like, "Hey, hey," and then it turns to go down the hill.
mm-hmm.
It's like, God damn it! Just jump that fence and you'll make the bus if you go now. Go now, and then it just
Yeah.
goes. Um, and then like uh, the the death of that girl is pretty intense. Like, you know,
Yeah.
they always have unique deaths. Like,
Mm-hmm,
no one just gets stabbed, they get like horribly like butchered, you
mm-hmm.
know.
So
Uh,
if you haven't seen this movie, the girl he's
don't.
referencing the girl he is referencing gets her head chopped off and it falls down a waterfall.
Yes.
um I want to know who found that head. Like, you know, that production team didn't clean that shit up. So somebody was just walking by that little area and was like, oh my God, there's a head in the water, and
Yeah.
probably lost their shit until they realized, it's just a prop head or whatever. It could have been a real head. Who
Yeah, you never
knows?
know. Fucking like unless they had a screener off camera, you know. But like I don't know. Like Italian movies, if I have to okay, before I get into like the bad of this movie, uh Italian movies, especially Italian horror, work differently than American style horror or English style horror or Japanese style. And rightfully so, where Japanese style horror is different than, you know, American. And like the first time you see like Ringu or The Grudge, I don't know the Japanese. What was the Japanese version of that movie?
I don't remember.
Like Jin
Yeah.
JI, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but those movies have a completely different feel than anything. Now, this Italian style movie, I've seen Giallos, I've seen really good ones, I've seen
Hmm.
really bad ones, but
Hmm.
this is kind of like in the middle of the road.
Yeah. So it is so in the middle of the road. Like it couldn't be more in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Like it's not bad enough to say it's bad,
Well,
but it's damn sure not good. It is
yeah,
just fucking.
because I've seen Italian movies where they're boring, you know, where like the plot just kind of is like whatever. Um, but this it's just like a combination of like a million whats. Like I'm just watching it and just going, what? Yeah,
Mhm.
like what? Uh I made the comment earlier, like she only sleepwalks once. And
Okay.
then the next night she's like, that's when Donald Pleasence is like, just tell yourself sleepwalking and you won't sleepwalk anymore. And she tells herself that and she doesn't sleepwalk anymore. So everything is
Maybe she wasn't sleepwalking. Maybe whenever she found like
the
the part,
Firefly,
or yeah, the firefly like led her to that was
the
the sleepwalk,
glove.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was her
Just
just normal.
chilling.
The
Oh,
only
okay.
time she
All right.
sleepwalks is when,
That scene was so outrageous. I assumed it was
yeah,
sleepwalking scene, like a
yeah.
dream sequence.
But this movie abandons so many concepts and creates new ones on the fly. Like, it's
Literally on a
yeah,
fly sometimes.
yes. This movie is like, okay, first of all, it's a girls' school again. okay. Um, and then like the worst girls' school in the world, I would probably say. Like, it's just amazing how bad that girls' school is.
It's like
Um,
7 girls.
yeah,
So
yeah,
and,
it's just a
and they
boarding
live in a
house.
fucking yeah, it's an orphanage
Yeah,
for like adult kids. Um it yeah, not only is there like nobody at that school, there's like two administrators
yeah,
maybe. And I don't even know what that's supposed to be. Like
yeah,
because the like in boarding schools, you're still in school. There was no classroom, there was no like bedtimes, curfews, no nothing, like no mess
yeah,
hall. You don't see anything.
yeah. They're
It's
just
just here's the stairwell. There's 7 girls laughing at her, moving on.
yeah.
Like they didn't even try.
But
Like they didn't even make it up.
the funny part was like I did like I geeked out so hard was so she sleepwalks. She sleeps not she sleepwalks the first night.
Mhm.
The next day she comes back, and instead of being like, "Oh man, we're so happy you're back," they're like, you're gonna get a CAT scan and an EKG because we don't want to make sure you're crazy, you know." And like, I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me.
Bro,
And
if I showed up at school one day and was like, Jerry, I can talk to bugs,
yeah,
you would be like, let's go get you that CAT scan, bud. Did you
sure.
hit your head recently? Like
No,
you been sleepwalking?
cool. Tell the mosquitoes to fuck off for me, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so they do that to make sure she's not crazy.
Dude,
Okay.
I blew sorry, not to cut you off.
No,
I
go ahead.
blew out that vape and then you coughed and it made it seem like I blew it in your face and you were like,
Yeah, I'm obnoxious. Um, so there's that story that
mhm,
goes nowhere.
yeah.
Then we go to okay, there's a murderer,
Mhm.
and that kind of flounders in this movie.
It does until like the last 20 minutes of the movie when it matters again.
Yeah, it just seems like there's not enough accumulation of like, oh man, this is serious, what you kind of want in a horror movie,
There
you
was a
know?
lot of half-ass setting up for no finishes.
Yes.
Like, what is the point of Loomis? He didn't need to be in the thing in the movie at all. Like, it's
Yeah,
around the movie centers around her being able to speak to bugs,
bug.
but and he's like the bug scientist or expert or whatever. So I get those, and I get that he's like help, but like this is official police business, not random dude down the street from the university that collects crickets. Like he shouldn't be the one that is doing any of this without the guidance of the police department. Like it seems like the school and him are trying to handle this internally because we see the police at first and
Yeah,
that's how they set up his character is like, oh, he sometimes helps with using his bugs to for whatever the reason.
yeah.
And then we never see the police again.
Once more, no, we see.
Well, they come to like check on her once they think she's a murderer or whatever.
Well, they come. The police show up. The police officer, he shows up like when the one fly takes her to the house that we saw in the beginning.
Right.
And then the cop just shows up out of nowhere. And
Yeah.
then at the end, she calls the cops, but she doesn't need, they keep taking the phone away from her,
Mhm.
but you didn't need to because the cops are coming there anyway because they're investigating. They're kind of doing their job. But then it just
Is
kind
that
of
how
like,
y'all run shit in Italy? Do the cops really just kind of like,
well, this
yeah,
is
well,
Sweden. This is Sweden. Remember, we're in
oh,
Sweden.
that's right. This movie isn't
Yeah.
so. I believe it now.
Switzerland. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it now.
But yeah, it just seems like at first my brain went, "Oh, I bet that monkey's a serial killer. I bet that monkey's killing." And
Mhm.
then like, no.
Well, they introduced the idea of that weird child thing that they keep chained to the wall. they introduced that early in the story, but there's like zero connections. There's like it's like they just slammed it. This movie sucked. Like like I think I'm trying to find ways around saying this movie sucked.
No, go ahead and stuff. I mean, like what the script and the dialogue are the worst things. Like the
Mhm.
dialogue never feels like people are actually talking to each other. They
Right.
feel like they are just speaking like words, 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 words. And then
Hmm.
someone's just like words, 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 words. That's how the
Yeah.
dialogue feels.
Yeah.
Like it feels like they're in two completely different rooms almost.
Right.
Um, like it never kind of like blends how language works.
Hmm.
And then the script just feels like every 4 minutes someone comes in and is like, got a guy with a monkey. Oh, we're putting that in there. You know, got bugs. We can get you bugs. Oh,
Yeah.
we're putting this front
Yeah.
and center.
Yeah.
Donald Pleasance just called. He said he'd be in the movie. Oh, putting him in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, you know, just like that. And then the end is just kind of like something I was not expecting at all. Like,
Hmm.
fucking really? Her?
Yeah, but not because it's well written,
No.
just because it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing.
Yeah. It just feels kind of like, well, I got a partial script. And then the guys
Mhm.
were like, fuck it, put it out, you know. Um,
It's like when you tell your boss, like, yeah, I'll have that project done on Monday, and you have like all of these ideas and no guidance. And then you're like, oh, fuck it, I gotta slap something together.
yeah.
And then you just like put
Sunday
a bunch
night.
of shit together. Yeah, like you crammed and you just put a bunch of shit together and it doesn't go together, it
Yeah.
doesn't flow.
Like this movie must have had like this has to be out on Halloween. And they were like, it's September 13th already.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. Donald's gonna be here in the morning.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, but like,
And he refused to stand.
yeah,
So they had to make him in a wheelchair.
yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm not walking, I'm not standing anywhere and stuff. And they were just like, we can make you sit, and a monkey will get you anything you want, Donald. Just
Yeah,
point the laser
basically.
beam. Um,
So stupid.
yeah, but you
So
never
stupid.
feel a tension, you know. And all right, so for the
Yeah.
audience members that are
Yeah.
still along with us, spoilers, it's a kid in a basement that's a mutant.
Hmm. Yes.
That's okay, but explain the
Yeah.
beginning. Explain, how did that kid break out of chains and chase
Hmm.
that girl who's a bus ride away from the place, but
Yeah.
yet,
Yeah.
you know, um and then there's all of these just moments that are kind of like, you know, it's like,
None of the
is
dots
that it?
connect in this movie.
Yeah. And we're never given like a who done it kind of situation. I think it would have worked better. Like, we think that you're the killer, with no, you're the killer, you know, shit like that would have worked better,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, I think that would have been the way to go about that.
Like Donald Pleasance is being, you know, like he might be the killer because he knows a lot about bugs, you know. His monkey, his, you know, the head of the school, you know.
Yeah,
No,
I knew she was going to have something to do with it.
yeah, but it kept feeling like no, and it almost makes me want to watch, like, man, I wish I could get the dubbed version. I mean, not the dubbed, the subtitle version, because then maybe I will see a different story.
I don't I don't think so because the only way it could be better or different is if somehow the Italian version was like the Italian version made sense. Like it tied all those things up. Like all those dots connected in that version.
Mm,
And I can't imagine that they deviated that much because all the shots would still be the same basically. So
mm,
like
maybe, but maybe there's dialogue of her, like uh the woman that is killing people, like maybe like in dialogue she's actually like, oh, excuse me.
yeah,
Um,
that's how this movie does it.
yeah, maybe in dialogue she's like being shady or talking about like things. Like my
Maybe.
favorite line of dialogue comes from her. She's like, "This place is known as Sweden's Transylvania," and Jennifer Connelly looks at her and she's like, "Why?" And she goes, "I don't know." I'm just like, yeah, that sums up this goddamn movie perfectly. Um, yeah, nothing the movie.
Yeah, it really is nothing the movie and it's a bummer.
Yeah.
Um this was not like outside of the cinematography, I would say this is like a full moon picture. Like
No,
this
because Full Moon
is
Picture has crud where crud, like the cheese, man. This is just,
yeah, this is unintentionally
yeah.
a
This
full
is someone
moon
trying to
picture.
be artsy.
Mhm.
Like, ooh, look, it's artsy,
So I
but
think
without any like flavor.
Dario, right, exactly. I think Dario did his job well.
Yeah.
I think that every single other person on this movie that wasn't him dropped the ball,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Someone wasn't like, I don't know, the great movies that Italian Giallos offer. Some of them
There's
are
so
really
many
good.
good ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of really good ones, and there are a lot of really good artistic horror movies.
Mhm.
Like ones that it's like, man, if only we could shoot movies like that. But this movie isn't like, it's shot okay, but I mean, it's like, like look at this food. Doesn't it look fancy? But then like you cut into it and there's nothing there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
And I don't, uh, there, the movie doesn't even make sense, and there's not enough movie to even have like a full review on
Yeah.
because it's not even negative. It's just like, huh?
Yeah.
Like I can't even be like I can't even be like that sucked, that was dumb. That like it's just a failed attempt.
Hmm.
Like it's not horrible, but it just didn't hit it as hard as I would have expected from something coming from this director,
Yeah.
especially.
Yeah.
Um, but
Like, I
I
don't
mean,
know,
it
unless
is
he
what it
was
is, I
just
guess. I
like,
don't know.
I owe the IRS a lot of money right now. I need to
Yeah,
take whatever.
or he owed somebody some money,
Yeah,
you know.
that's the only thing I can think of.
We'll finance, the three mothers or the three sisters or the three mothers if
Mothers. Yeah.
you knock out this one or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. I mean,
I
like
don't
the
know.
studio is like pigeonholing him and like you got to get actors and this and that.
Yeah.
And eh, I
Yeah.
really wish there was more to talk about. I mean, cinematically, it looks beautiful, but
Hmm.
everything underneath is just kind of like
Yeah.
boring.
Yeah. It's
It's
like
not even worth.
it's like the really hot girl that just has zero personality.
Yeah.
It's just such a bummer.
Yeah. It's just it has nothing. So all
Yeah. No.
right. Did you go see it in the
No.
theater? Thriller Kill?
Fucking kill.
Word. Yeah, I'm the same there. All right. What's your star rating?
I think this might be the lowest rating I've ever given. but it's I gotta go like 1.5 stars.
Yeah, I'm
And
going.
and it sucks because like I don't even hate it.
Yeah,
It just was so disappointing. That's all.
yeah. If it was hate, like I know you hate suburban Sasquatch, but I guarantee there's like 4 things you can tell me about suburban Sasquatch right now. You know?
Yeah, but it's all shitty things
Yeah.
about the movie, like terrible green screen,
Yeah.
stupid costumes. All
Yeah.
right, how many stars do you give it? Let's
I'm
get
gonna give
this
it just a
shit
one.
show over.
I'm gonna
One,
give it a
yeah,
1 for the cinematography.
yeah,
Better luck next time, guys. So
yeah, 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 yeah.